Good afternoon, traders. It's Mark here from the Day Trading Room. Time is 5 to 1 London time, Thursday, the 14th of July. 35 minutes to go till a raft of data, economic data, 1:30 UK time that comes out. So, time to get out a little quick update on yesterday's trades and what I got up to and what levels I was looking at. Well, okay, let's start off by just a bit of background. Now, we all know the 12,440 level has been key. I spoke about it on the overnight. Let me bring this chart in. I spoke about it on the overnight setup with that lackluster data that came out. This was the. Let's just scroll over quickly. I shall put a link to that in the YouTube section. So 2 videos back. Have a look at my blog if you haven't seen it. So 12,440 levels has been so key. Leveraged off that to take a couple of trades so far. And it actually translates to around a 12,500, 12,490 cash, and you can see how key that level is. We've shot under quite a few times, but we've generally held. So I'm looking at that level. I'm really looking at the level to initiate trades from as and when the tape confirms. So what did I get up to yesterday? Well, at the open it was a bit choppy. Had a couple of ideas really. We'd opened up in the middle of the overnight range, so I was looking perhaps for the overnight high, maybe the overnight low. Wanted to see what happened if we pushed down to the 12,500 cash, 12,440 approximately YM level. A few options, but I didn't really have a real thick premise, if you like. I just wanted to wait and see and let the tape guide me into the trade. Now, I didn't get on this short move down, which is unlike me really. Normally at the open, I'm pretty good at nailing any drive, lower or higher based on the tape. But this was a little bit unclear to me, so I just stayed out of the whole thing. Missed a good move down there. But actually, as we started to push lower, coming to the 12,440 level, 12,500 cash, the gaps. It was a bit odd really, because the gap was here on the YM, but much further away on the cash. So I'm aware of that. I'm looking at that. But as we approach the 12,440, I'm seeing buyers stepping on the tape. Ticks are relatively low, but I thought it's worth a long. It's worth a long. It's a level I'm interested in. Why not? While there's strength there, let's take it. Now, I knew Bernanke was speaking yesterday, and I had it on my calendar, aware of it, written it down. But I didn't expect him to say something immediately at 3 o'clock that was going to spike the market higher or lower. If I had thought that, I wouldn't have taken a trade. If before data, I would never initiate a trade. The only time I'll ever hold through data is if I've scaled out dramatically and my risk is reduced significantly. It's just gambling. You don't know what the data's going to be. There's far better trades and more reliable, and the odds on your side type of trade are trading after the data, especially if you're getting a reprice. I've talked about that a couple of videos ago. So I'm going to put this down to a little bit of luck. There's a little bit of luck on my side yesterday. The fact that I bought the support, but then again, if I hadn't been in the right place at the right time doing the right thing, then you don't get lucky. Luck is preparation and taking advantage of opportunity. So I was prepared, I took the buy, and I got lucky. So this to here is luck. Now, how did I manage that afterwards? Well, I thought, okay, I've been very lucky with that trade. I could have easily been stopped out, by the way, and I would have taken the stop, and it's just the same as any surprise news coming out. Now, it wasn't a surprise, obviously, because we knew he was speaking, but I didn't expect him to move the market so quickly. So anyway, enough talking about that. How did I manage that afterwards? Well, with a large chunk of cushion in the bank, or not in the bank at all. It was not. I haven't taken the trade off the table. I'm still long, with a reasonable cushion of profit there. As we pushed up, I said, why I should be trading this? I will trade this as I would do normally if I was not long. Now, how would I trade that if I wasn't long? I would trade the first pullback, number one. I would trade the second longer pullback, number two, and I would look for a third pullback. That's how I'll be trading a reprice market. 2 videos ago, have a look on the blog. I think I'm going to put a link in the lower section of this YouTube video to have a look at that. But that's how I trade it. That's how I'll always trade it, and I'm using that methodology on a reprice market. So I decided there's no reason to take the trade off the table. Stay with that trade. Be grateful that you've got a little bit of luck on your side. Now forget that. Okay, obviously manage that and don't let that go back against you, but trade it from a fresh perspective. So I did that. First pullback, I'm long again. Now I'm long another full unit. So, but I'm accepting the risk on that because I've got a decent cushion in the bank. So whatever happens, even if we came back down to here, I'm not going to take a loss on the trade. So I can afford to leverage up. I'm trying to forget about that and taking a fresh trade. First pullback, great. We popped up and a lovely, lovely pop up, scaling out as we approach the high. Maybe a little bit early for some, but I like to take some risk off the table. And don't forget, I'm now scaling out twice as much as usual because I've got twice the position. Scaling out again at the overnight high, which is I think 506, and again as we just poked over there, I thought we'd get a little bit more. We started to pull back down again and started to take the most of it back off the table. Now I left a small amount of the position because again I'm still looking to be long, get long. I'm trying to be aggressive on this trade. I'm trying to squeeze the maximum amount of profit out of it. So I'm keeping a small portion of the position. Hindsight, I didn't keep enough. I didn't keep enough of the position. It was a small portion. It should have been more, but never mind. We pulled back down. We started to get a nice low tick reading there, or ticks back to zero reading. I was a little bit early with my entry. Actually, let me zoom in a bit more on that. We can't see that clearly. I was a little bit early on my entry with this one, and took a little bit of heat. I was in around here and we just poked under. But while we're putting in wicks and the ticks were, holding, I was okay with it. It was, I mean, the heat was nothing in the scheme of things. I've obviously banked a lot from this trade, and I'm now looking to leverage up on the next push up. Because we loitered around a bit, I was a little bit ginger with my scaling, and I scaled out on that last high tag. Scaled out quite a lot actually, and left a small portion on, which was probably a little bit over the top, but it was a nice trade. It was a nice trade. Just that, that's a 20-point move. I didn't take the full 20 because my entry was a little bit early, but it was a nice trade. Anyway, I kept a small portion, saying, okay, well, what's your final exit? And it's normally high tick reading a day, 1,000 tick, and that's exactly what I did. We've got 1,000 tick here, 1006. So scaled out. As soon as I saw that, I'm not actually even looking at the price, to be honest with you. I've just got a market order ready, and then I'm just taking that trade, that sell as we get the 1,000 ticks. Now, in hindsight, it pushed on higher, but that's the premise of the trade. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to come out in this sort of area anyway. Thought we might be due to number 3, deeper pullback, number 3 at some point, so don't want to get caught in that. So great trade, great trade. Little bit of luck, as I say. Don't want to keep going on about it, but it happens from time to time. Sometimes you get a bit of bad luck, sometimes you get a bit of good luck. But it's how you manage it afterwards that matters, I think. So we had the classic 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I'm calling it 1, 2, 3. I think there's probably a better name for it, but first pullback, second 4 or 5 minute pullback, and third deeper pullback. It's a bit subjective, but I'm probably going to call it here. Now, I didn't take this, by the way, but I'm probably going to call that there. Now, why am I going to call that there? Because it was the first oversold condition on a 5 or 3 minute chart. So first pullback, and it was around to some support level, obviously from here. So I'm considering that number 3. Now, you could call this number 3, perhaps a little bit subjective, but anyway, so a great cluster of trades there. Very quickly, we got a little bit of action in the afternoon. I didn't take this tick pullback because we bounced off the support at 12,440, the magic number. Little magic number again, 12,440, and actually we're at 12,440 now as I speak. We're at 1, 12,444. We pushed up, tick pullback, didn't take it. We pushed low. I saw it starting to find a bit of support here, and thought, okay, that's in the 12,500, 12,490 cash level. I think we poked under a little bit. Ticks are low, but we're starting to see a little bit of strength. We're not driving as cleanly as we could do to the gap, so took a little long here, just small size, late in the day. Didn't want to undo the good day's work, and was mindful of fading the 8 o'clock drive, which is obviously to the downside, but thought there was a little bit in it. Just took a quick 10 ticks on that, all in all out. Was concerned that the gap was there. Came back down again. We took another little double bottom here, and actually this trade wasn't so good because I saw the double bottom, thought, okay, I'll have another go at this. Wrong move. Didn't quite get Didn't quite get my 10 ticks. Rolled back over and ended up taking a stop with a little bit of slippage, a couple of tick loss. So they probably netted about 8 ticks after commission just from that. Which was pretty poor, really. Shouldn't have got involved in this. Should have heeded my own early warning of, hey, look, we've got a bit of a late drive coming here. Don't get caught out. You can get one little cheeky pop off that support. I accept that. That's okay. Tape was okay. We'd flush lower in the ticks, buying that exhaustion just for a little bit of an unwinding. But when we start to revisit, you just get a little bit cocky if you start doing that, and but at least I pulled my stop up pretty quick and thought, hey, if this does roll over and breaks, then it's going to break, and we've got an obvious target there for the gap fill. I think the guys playing on the short side had a better setup than me. As we pushed up here, tick pull back, we couldn't hold, started to roll over. There was much more meat in that trade to the downside, but I didn't play it that way. So anyway, that's the yesterday's trades. Fantastic day. Looking forward to another great day. If the setups are there, I'm going to take them. If they're not there, I'm not going to take them. I'm not going to get caught up in anything. I'm just going to take what the market is offering when the market offers it, and when there's no setups, there's no trade, I'm not going to get involved. Okay, but main thing, guys, I say it again, keep saying it, you know what I'm going to say, manage that risk. It's important to keep that risk managed, not only for your own trading capital, but for your emotional capital, your well-being, your confidence. If you take a big hit, it's not just the account that does the damage, it's your confidence in trading as well. You can take a little hit, then you can step back and reevaluate. You take a big hit, it's too late. So make sure you're trading the size that's acceptable to you. Make sure you're trading, got a stop in the market, so that if you do get some surprise move, that when you get stopped out, it's not going to hurt you. You're not caught in it thinking, I'm down, what do I do now? You're just out, you can step back, reevaluate. Yeah, that's the way to trade it. So good trading, guys. Have a great day today, and tomorrow I should probably be back with another video of the weekend, or most likely Monday morning. Take care.